Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm talking about something exciting because I think although I talk about the plethora of experiences that I've had in my life, sometimes I don't talk about the crossovers. So today I'm talking about the 5 lessons of sport that have absolutely changed my life. So if you're new here, hi, I'm Mercy Brown. I've been a weightlifter since I was 15 years old, and you can learn more about that over here, where I have a whole video about how I started, how I got involved in the sport, and just my career in the sport as well, with some key highlights. But one thing I've noticed, especially across my professional career, and even last week I was definitely challenged on some of the crossovers that I have from sport, is that this thing has actually changed my life, and the benefits are so far more than physical. The first one we're going to talk about is resilience, and resilience basically speaks to the art of being able to bounce back from difficult and tough situations and circumstances. And obviously in sport is a roller coaster, and let me tell you, it is not predictable by any means, but that muscle of building up resilience has been completely transformative for the top and elite performers, and is also and often the differentiating factor of whether someone's going to be at the peak of their sport, or maybe if they only get to a certain level as well. And I've carried that over to work and every other endeavor, relationships, businesses, whatever the case might be, because that art of being able to overcome, that art of being able to bounce back quickly, that art of being able to get back up when you get knocked down is really, really key to life. And we go through life woes, ups, downs, issues, situations, circumstances. And although I've been under the moments where I'm just like, I don't want to be resilient anymore, I'm tired of being resilient, that resilience piece has allowed me to overcome some of the most difficult and challenging parts of my life, because all my time in sport I've been fostering that muscle. I wasn't always the best at what I did, and it wasn't always easy. I had my difficult moments in training, in competitions. I had my difficult moments in my personal life, in my academic life, in my work life. But being able to look at a situation and go, I'm getting up quickly, and I'm overcoming this, absolutely has changed my life. And I think that's one of the things that get discounted in sports, because we often talk about how people bounce back from injury and, oh, this person looks really good because they do this sport, and we forget the piece of being able to overcome loss, defeat, and to return after hardship is one of the biggest skills that any human needs, and a muscle that everyone needs to grow. The next one is discipline. Now, your girl isn't always the most disciplined, especially when it comes to food, but I digress. Discipline is one of the fundamentals for sport, because it goes away from you just being motivated to do something to you knowing you have to get this done. And even as I look at it now, I'm now on week 4 in the gym, going to week 5. I am like, this is discipline for me now. I'm exercising that muscle of discipline that I had very much in my early years, where I knew that 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 5 days a week, I'm going to the gym. I have that now, where it's like, it doesn't matter if I'm tired, it doesn't matter if I've gone out, it doesn't matter if if something has come up, I'm gonna readjust my schedule to make sure I get to that gym 4 times in the week. And that discipline piece, you know what? I could do better at it, and maybe most people could as well, because discipline is another underpinning characteristic for success. You have to have, it's almost like a schedule, and I say schedule hypothetically and not specifically, that you need to be able to know that I'm doing this, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing this for this desired output. And where I lack in this area, I affect my output. That discipline there, game changer. Because funnily enough, if people look at the kind of areas of their life where they wouldn't think there's overtly discipline, your work is a form of discipline. You know that you need to start at 9 and you finish at 5. You know that you've got several different tasks you need to complete and get done. There's none of this, oh, when I feel like it, oh, I get to when I get to it. You know that there's certain things you have to do within a certain time frame, and it must be done to the best of your ability. And that is the same for discipline. So if you are trying to go to the gym more, if you're trying to be more intentional about your relationships, if you're trying to be more productive with your time, it will take discipline. Is it that you roll out of bed when you feel like? That used to be me. Or is it that you eat whatever you like, or drink whatever you like, or go wherever you like, even though you know that it might be to your detriment? So discipline is going to be the thing that sets you apart, and it's also going to be the foundation into you planning and achieving your desired success. Now, this one is a more recent development, and it was when I was looking at my transferable skills and I was having a little rant on one of the social media platforms, and I was saying that in this world of sport, people really discount what we go through and discount the skills that we've learned. So one thing about sport, teaches you project management. I know it sounds crazy, but when I was sitting down to think about how I have coached other athletes and planned for other athletes, but also how I've been on the receiving end of performance metrics and planning, that is a form of project management. Many people don't know, and I'll clue you in. Most training cycles programs are written for a 4 to 8 year period, and in those periods are smaller sections or smaller pieces that contribute to the big goal. So every session, every day, every week, every month, every year contributes to a final output. So if you're an Olympic level athlete training in I can't remember if it's a macro cycle, but a 4 year cycle towards the Olympics, you actually have a very detailed performance and project plan that allows you to get to that goal. It's got a timeline, it's got a schedule, it's got the variables. There might be an unexpected injury. You've got to go back to the plan and make adjustments. All of these little things here actually make up project management, and you're working with different people, different teams. And I think that having that very early experience of working with big teams and working with different professionals and different individuals and being heavily involved in my planning and performance absolutely transformed the way that I get tasks done and I get things done. I go through a very meticulous process of project planning and project management to be able to deliver desired outputs, whether that be at work, whether that be in business, whether that be in friendships and even relationships, because there's a way you can go around being intentional about your time, travels, leisure, this and that. That meticulous skill that I have, an attention to detail for time, outputs and goals, definitely comes from the world of sport. Because when I think about wanting to compete at the Commonwealth Games and going for different Olympic cycles and different Olympic blocks, it wasn't just on a whim. Each time I made a decision, I had to create a plan for this. So that skill of performance, caring about your performance, if you go to the gym and you write things down, all of those soft skills there are definitely transferable to work and to every other aspect. And I believe has made me very, very detailed orientated about how are we getting the job done and how are we achieving success. The next one, and this might rustle a few feathers, but a key lesson, accountability. I feel like when you're trying to achieve a goal, when you're trying to walk towards or run towards success, and when you're trying to just be the very best version of yourself, you need to be accountable. There is no successful athlete that does things on their own. I'm telling you, when you look at the best of the best, when you look at your favorites, they have accountability, but on a wider level in terms of elite sport. I had my coach, I had one of my closest friends, Kim. I had so many people close to me that I was accountable to, that I could go to and say, okay, it's been really tough with my nutrition today, or this training session was really hard, or what are we going to do to be able to achieve this? I have a question about how am I going to achieve this weight at this competition? What's the goal and what can I be doing? If I had a pain or an injury, people would check in to say, okay, are you doing your physio? Are you doing your rehab? Are you doing your cardio? All of those little things, because accountability as well, yeah, as much as it's good to have people to talk to and bounce things off, accountability will keep you motivated. Because guess what I didn't like having to have conversations about why I didn't get something done. Because I said I want this, right? I chose this, whether it's work, whether it's sport, whatever the case might be, whether it's business, I chose this. The goal that I have, I chose that goal. And I've now articulated it and said I want to achieve it. And I don't want someone to say, okay, Mercy, you said you were going to do 10 push-ups today. Did you get the 10 push-ups done? And I'm doing, yeah, I just had to. I hate it because I don't want to have a conversation about why I didn't get it done. So accountability works twofold. You have people that you can bounce ideas off, that you can tell concerns, issues, and actually have a check-in relationship. But you're also motivated to not fall short with accountability. And now, last one's a little bit of a controversial one, but it is what it is. A competitive mindset. Now, I caveat this to say that you are not in competition with everyone all the time. But due to how we are as humans, there's a degree of competition, competitiveness or competition that has to exist for your survival on a biological level and for your success. So weightlifting and my competitive career allowed me to get strategic. It allowed me to get tactical, and it further fostered my competitive state. I was always a competitive person. I did a number of different sports, so I've always had that wanting to win kind of vibe. But weightlifting taught me, how do you get strategic about this? How do you get to the nooks and crannies of how you are going to achieve success? When you walk in a competition, what's going on? Top tip, know your competitors. I would know everyone in the room, not because I've researched them or I spent some time, spent 3 hours. No, I'm not doing that. But I have an understanding of how your competition gameplay goes. I know your areas of strength, I know your areas of weakness. That's just the landscape. And I know where I can exploit those gaps. So if it was, for example, I went into a competition where I knew that, there's some top snatchers in here, the tactic is keep close to them on the snatch and then blow past them on the clean and jerk. But I need to maintain a very small gap. Sport taught me how to get real competitive. And away from being competitive with others inside like competitions and blah, 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 whatever the case might be, it taught me how to get competitive with myself. And I believe that when you are trying to be the best and better version of yourself, you really need to understand quite quickly who you're up against. And that's you. So if anyone goes, oh yeah, I'm in competition and I'm comparing myself to someone. No. I've learned the tactics from competing against others. And as I've aged and like slowly aging out of the sport and moving out of the sport, I've learned how to apply it to myself. So let me tell you for free, I am not wrestling with who's better than me. I'm wrestling with the fact that how can I be better than my yesterday's version? How can I be better than my previous version? I'm not businessing about what anyone else has got going on. How do I make myself better? And as you know, I always talk about it. I'm on a reflective journey constantly because I'm always like, Mercy, maybe the way you dealt with that situation wasn't great. How can you be better in dealing with such a situation going forward? Or Mercy, look, last week you wasn't productive, so maybe you missed some milestones. How are we going to make sure that never happens again? That competitive mindset has completely put me in competition with myself. So even when it's a case of career progression or business focus or whatever the endeavor it is that I pursue, I'm always looking at how can I compete with me? How can I compete with me? Because once you start competing with yourself, especially if you're coming from a place of self-love, watch my last video about it. But if you're coming from a place of self-love and you want the best for yourself, you can only compete with yourself. And when you want the best for yourself, wanting the best for yourself is more than anyone else wanting the best for you. I'm telling you here for free. So that competitive mindset absolutely changed and transformed my life because it allows me to be a lot more strategic, a lot more tactical. It allows me to know when to fight and when to hold back. It allows me to know when to push and when to scale. But it also allows me to challenge myself on a daily basis to be the best version of myself. I have absolutely transformed my life, and I would hope the same for anyone else. So if you're thinking about, look, I just want to become a better person, I want to challenge myself mentally, I want to push myself to be the best version of myself, and I want to develop some of these skills in a fun and engaging way. Because these skills that I've developed, it wasn't that I was intentionally sitting down thinking, how am I going to be more resilient? How am I going to be more disciplined? No. These are things that over the time of my participation in the sport were naturally occurring subconsciously because of the challenges that sports raises. So I would encourage you, find a sport, find a team, find anything, especially if you don't like going to the gym to do health and fitness. Find something that you enjoy, find something that you're going to commit to participating in multiple times a week, and you are going to see the perspective that you have and the skills that you build in sport are going to absolutely change and transform your life. So if you made it this far and you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Drop me a like and a comment, subscribe. But also, if you've made it this far, just to let me know that you sat through this journey with me, drop me a brown heart in the comments as well. As always, I love you all down. Thank you for the returning subscribers. Oh, I love you guys. Thank you for The new people that are following along on this journey, love you all. Hope you subscribe. And remember, as always, tell a friend to tell a friend, and tell their friend to tell their friend, and tell their cousin and their parents and their family, and like tell everyone to tell everyone. As I'm dropping these gems with you, and I wish you a blessed and wonderful week, and we will be back next week, as always. Catch you soon. Stay blessed, and yeah, show me some love, man. Show me some love. Show me some love. Show me some love. Show me some love.